Hi, this is Seth from 78rpmLOVE, a YouTube channel dedicated to those of us who absolutely love listening to old classic records, recorded on 78 RPM shellac records. These records are not quite like the ones you find on the store shelf today. I know there's been a big uptick and a huge resurgence in the interest of vinyl records, but if you happen to cross one of these, just know and be careful that you don't damage them. There are easy ways to see the difference. Here's an old shellac record. They're a little thicker. There's one song on each side, generally. And they're very fragile. Here's a couple examples. Here's a Bing Crosby record. It doesn't take much. Here's a Louis Armstrong. So sad about this one. Sometimes they get a crack through the middle, makes the sound quality go down. You hear the bump every time it passes by, and it's quite frequent when it's spinning around 78 revolutions per minute. That being said, let's get started. I'd like to give you a little bit of background. I've been given this wonderful opportunity, access to quite an extensive collection of old jazz records. These records span a history from the 1920s all the way up to the 1960s and 70s. Many names you would know: Billie Holiday, Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, just some amazing talent out there. So as I strive to bring these to you, know that it comes with a little bit of work. I've got to clean a lot of the records. They've been sitting and collecting dust. The exciting part of all this is that it's like a treasure trove, because the man that I have access to these records through, his name is James McKay. He was a DJ during the 40s and 70s. So he's got quite an extensive collection, personal things, as well as when the radio stations he worked for started phasing out their old technology, he had access to some amazing pieces. And so, for instance, many of the records that are in the collection are unlike some of the ones you might find. Now hold this up and then snap a picture, but you will see that these are not for sale, or they might say for radio stations only. And in this instance, from Columbia Records, for radio stations only. Sorry, gotta get the angle right on this. So as I go through these, we'll find some amazing things. I can't help but explain to you my personal thoughts and feelings on how wonderful a gift we have in music. I think music is such a wonderful tool that's been given to help us to communicate, to share some of our deepest thoughts and feelings. The inspiration that comes to artists and musicians is absolutely wonderful and incredible. They're a unique breed of people. They put their whole souls on the line. They let you see to some of their innermost thoughts and feelings. I know in my own life it's been rather interesting as I've experienced all types of music and found wonderful things about so many things. For instance, if you listen to the music of Bach, I can't help but feel that my soul's been touched. The peace I feel, it's incredible. Sometimes, though, however, very lively. Bach was a prolific composer, and he's one that speaks to me. As I've listened to jazz, it's rather interesting. It's like early hip-hop in that the lyrics a lot of times go a little kind of in detail about their background and where they grew up, and it's very interesting to me just how exciting some of these lyrics are and some of the composers and how the singers would put the feeling into it. And I hope that as we embark on this journey of me cleaning records weekly and preparing them, making them digital and my hope is that I'll be able to find out a little bit of the background about these wonderful people, because as I learn about people like Handel, who wrote Handel's Messiah, or you learn about Mendelssohn or Schumann, anybody, there's so much you can learn about a person in a lifetime, especially people that have accomplished so much. So with that, I want to focus on the good. I want to focus on the wonderful things. Granted, there are times where through difficulty, oftentimes through poor choices, making bad decisions, our lives are shaped, and hopefully for the better. And these are the type of stories that I hope to bring to you, not just to spin a record, let you enjoy it, but maybe to give a little bit of commentary, tell some quick stories. There are probably people living today that have watched and seen some of these amazing performers. And it's my hope that you will take time to share below in your comments. Maybe these are your great-grandparents, and you've got some interesting insight. Maybe you're going to correct me because I got the story wrong, and I would love nothing more than to have that interaction with each of you on a daily basis as this comes out. So one last thing as I go forward is, as I pondered on how to roll this out, I really feel strongly about keeping things positive. And in the New Testament, the Apostle Paul says in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things." This is what I hope to do. If there's a shred of truth, if there's light at the end of this tunnel, and if there's anything good that can be said about these artists, that's what I hope to highlight. I hope that you will also find love in listening to these old records with me, and that that love will just grow within you, and it'll be something you yearn for, something you long for, and that's what I hope to have as well as I dig through the piles of stuff. Just behind me are a bunch of old box sets of records. Al Jolson, Kid Corey, just tons of stuff. So we'll dig in and get going. I've got to learn how to operate the software to do all this, and I've got to learn how to make the videos. But I hope to keep this candid. I hope to keep it honest and true, and I hope you all can enjoy this with me. Thanks so much for listening.